ugly ass niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I'm back with another video. You know what to do. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking, but most importantly, make sure you share it with your ugly ass friends. On today's video, we will be covering Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, and this one right here is the episode 9 recap. Pretty much per usual, you know, at the my first video after the episode is always going to be the recap. Now, of course, just like last week, I'm super behind on it, but hey, your boy is catching up on things. But anyways, if you're new to the channel, this is not like your typical recap. It's basically the ugly ass nigga style of how I seen it. So enjoy and welcome. And the folks have been rocking me for a while. Y'all already know what it is. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, we start the thing off with your girl Pop walking up on Crystal, acting all sentimental and shit. She always did hell, talking about some what they do to you. No one get where she responsible for it. Ugly as hell, y'all. But anyways, she walks up to her and stuff like that, you know, to get the keys to let her out of the chains and stuff like that, acting like she really was her friend for a slight second, knowing she ugly as hell. But anyways, she lets her out, and then, of course, she has a conversation with you like, look, because Crystal is telling her how she wants to go home and all that, and she was like, you can. Pop was like, you will, glad nigga, but you gotta tell me something, because them little glad niggas don't believe. And basically, Crystal told her, look, I already told y'all everything I know. Kanan don't know who took out his friend. He just think it's he, and then also admitted though that she think that he thought it's Rock. And of course, that sealed her fate. Well, her fate was sealed already. There's no way she was making it out of that unless by some miracle somebody came up in there to save her and found her before, you know, her execution happened. But let's just be real, we knew that wasn't gonna happen. But of course, she made her the most bootiest PB&J I've ever seen. Like, bruh, I don't say a couple people do this, but I'm gonna let y'all know. This is the correct way to make a peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter on one side, jelly on the other. You do not put the peanut butter and the jelly on the same size as that, nigga. But that's what she did. And Crystal should have known something was up when she was putting peanut butter and the jelly on the same bread. Come on, Crystal, that's a red flag. But I get it, you was hungry, girl. And of course, she laid her ass out. Anyways, next, we go ahead and get to your boy Lou and Imani and Snitch, right? And they have been interrogated by some detectives because, of course, they're talking to them about the death of two men, which was Kenyatta and whoever that little glad nigga name was that was with him. That, of course, Lou took out last episode. But like in typical fashion, you know, characters of the Power Universe, they were like, they didn't know what happened. And of course, put it on something else. But the crazy part is that Lou also included Imani in something that she wasn't in on it. What if she would have just straight up said, I don't know nothing about this officer, he lying. You would have looked bad there. That was a major gamble you took there, good Lou. But hey, I guess it worked out because she did hold it down for that little part. So maybe our girl ain't no, you know, some kind of informant or something like that. But anyways, next we go ahead and get to basically that same moment, but this is you know, after the cops has left, Imani has left, and Rilla was like, they don't know nothing, this glad nigga. And basically he was like Lou was like, yeah, so don't give them nothing to, you know, basically they don't know nothing now, but don't give them nothing to, you know, bite on, basically. And you know, and what reason why I put this particular scene here is because it reminded me of the OG Power, something that Lou said here. He basically, you know, when he wasn't talking to the cops, he was like, didn't see shit, didn't say shit, or something like that. It's something like that in those lines that Lou said. And of course you remember Ghost, Tommy, and Tasha always used to say, didn't say shit, didn't see shit, didn't say shit, so it ain't shit. Remember that. So that just I'm just putting it out there because as y'all know, I've been telling y'all for a while that it's very much possible Lou might turn out to be Ghost dad. I know a lot of glad niggas don't believe it, but I'm just saying it could be possible. But anyways, next we go ahead and get to your girl Rock. Of course, Kanan and Juke started off at the restaurant by themselves, and then Rock walked up and interfered, talking about your little lad ain't answer my calls, and I don't call you about 100 times. And of course, Kanan was like, well, if I ain't answered 100 times, what makes you think I want to talk to you now, lad? But of course, he was forced to have that talk. Rock let him know, look, glass nigga. Crystal came by and all that. But also, Kanan kind of just jumped to the point and asked her, what you know about Famous? And Rock was able to peep game. Was like, hold on, little glass nigga, you think I got something to do with that? I wouldn't do that to him. I love Famous. But she was like, your little glass love D-Wiz too. But of course, Rock had to remind him, which I totally agree, that was on you, Kanan. If you wouldn't have been meddling in something that you didn't know nothing about, that she told you to leave alone, she never would have had to do that. You forced her to make a very, very, tough decision, but she had to make the decision, her child or someone else's. So, anyways, next we get to Marvin. And of course, early Tyler has pulled up on him like Birdman, thinking he fell because he bald head or something like that. But he thought he was tough for his decade. Was like, look, me and mine ain't gonna take that like nicely. I know it's you who took down one there. And then Marv was like, hold on, bed pole post, head ass nigga. I ain't do nothing to no London. And he was like, stop one her glass nigga. No, it's you. And he was like, look here, glass nigga. Alright. Let's just say I did wet that little ugly chatty mouth ass nigga up. What you gonna do about it, glad nigga? And then that's when Early had to realize, dang, that is mine is ugly there. Let me stop acting so tough. I got something for you. I'm gonna tell the principal on you, glad nigga. Glad nigga was like, mine went and told the principal. Anyways, though, next we get to your boy Kanan, and he is crashing out. The man crashing out, right? He basically was like, hey, glad nigga. He walks up to Crystal's stepdad, which everybody for the most part anticipated that's who this janitor was going to turn out to be. And he basically questioned her about Crystal, and it was very similar to the Tommy Egan situation from the original Power, where he basically found Holly's uncle that used to touch on her from way back in the day, and he ultimately took him out. So your boy Kanan pulled up on him. The dude tried to get smart. I guess he was thinking Kanan just a kid, he ain't gonna do too much. But Kanan put his ass on the ground and kicked the hell out of him with them big ass Timbs, and told his little glad, if you hear something, reach out to me, right? Not your head, little glass nigga, so y'all can know that you hear me. I hear you, ugly ass nigga. That's what the glad nigga said. So anyways, next we get to your boy Eton. I had to skip that little other part. Y'all know what happened here, man. Your boy David was having his moment until he wasn't. Went to the bathroom and was getting ready to do some lines and didn't know that was going to be the last thing he do, because your boy Eton put his ass down. But anyways, next we get to your girl Juke, and I forgot this girl's name. Hey girl, what was your name again? Lauren, whatever. Laura, I think it was Laura. Anyways, your name gonna be Laura today if it ain't. Anyways, so Laura was talking to Juke, saying that she's been having a good time. She found some new girl or whatever. And then she brought up, but it was this little ugly ass nigga, named Garcia that basically pushed up on me. He was asking about you because, you know, they were around or something like that doing the husband crap. Some shit like that. Honestly, it don't matter that much. The point is, Garcia pulled up on her. And that's when Juke told her, all right, I'm gonna handle that lad nigga. So next, we get to the snitch. The snitch makes it to the principal's office. It was like, Marvin hit me at recess. And he tried to snitch on him. But no, for real though. So basically, you know, I think most of us at least, of course I did, knew he was gonna do this, you know, try to tell Stefano that it was Marvin who gave him the order to, you know, take out the guy up in Howard Beach. And of course, Marvin already lied to Stefano about this, so this is not a good situation for your boy Marvin. Now, I think we all should have known that this was coming. I mean, I've seen it from a mile away. But of course, but yeah, anyways, next we get to your boy Marvin, and of course Rock, she's there. She having a conversation with him. She's letting him know that David has been taken out basically, and they would be having issues, you know, getting their product through now that David is gone, because they don't know whether or not whoever is David's replacement is going to be willing to play ball with them. And of course, they have this huge shipment that's getting ready to come in, and she's not exactly sure how they're gonna, be able to distribute it. So, that's when Marvin made a pitch to her, said maybe ask Stefano, can they use some of his guys? And she's sick of having to, come to the Mugland Italians when it comes to things. But for the point, for this right now, it's probably her only option. But she wanted to know how the situation with Early Tyler is going on, and he was like, handle. And she's like, what type of handle this lad, nigga? And of course he said, God's virgin. And that is not a good thing. But anyways, next we get to your boy Lou, and of course he was talking with Shirley, having a little brief conversation. Then of course they were interrupted by Imani, and she asked to talk to him in private. They went over to have a seat, and she was like, look lad nigga, I can't do this with you no more. You made me an accomplice, lad nigga, and I ain't have no idea. We both know your little lad didn't show up to my house at 11. And basically, Lou didn't give zero else. He was like, man, I don't care, lad. If you gonna step, then little hooch. And pretty much he let her walk. And she also told him though, before heading out, that she told whatever that little lad producer dude name is, his name come in and out to me. But anyways, she told Garfield, I know I be calling him Garfield, that she not gonna be working with him anymore. Anyways, next we get to your girl Juke, and of course she has been reunited with the home girl Aisha. So Aisha was there, telling her she was in town because I think they on winter break, if I'm not mistaken. So they on winter break, and they're having a conversation and pretty much just catching up on a few things, and nothing really too important as of now, but just let you know she's back in town. But next we get to your boy Kanan, and of course he has decided, wait, real quick, hold on, this thing coming before that, my bad, glad niggas, y'all get it. Anyways, of course, this is when Neek was talking to your boy Eton, aka Lamar Jackson, and basically was congratulating him on getting the job done with David, how he was able to easily just take him out. And he pretty much like, what they feeding y'all little ass niggas in Jersey. He was like, ugly ass New York niggas. And then in the midst of that exchange, that's when your boy Kanan came in. Hey, Nick, I need to talk to you, man. I need to holler at you, man. Chew his ass up, man. But anyways, Nick comes up, and of course his homies had the scrap on him, and he, basically signaled for them to, calm down. And that is the first meetup between your boy Kanan and Unique. But of course, Nick was approached him, was like, Kanan, mother effing stop. I knew you was glad we're gonna pay me a visit. Welcome, my brother. So basically he was welcoming them with open arms. Next we get back to Juke and Aisha, and they getting up some little bit more, and basically Juke just popped the question like, so you seeing somebody or what, little lad? And she's like, nah, I got a boyfriend. That minded as hell. He from New Orleans, so he got one of them ugly ass accents. What about you? And Juke was like, I don't meddle around with a couple of hooches, but ain't nothing serious. So basically both of them was kind of jealous and stuff, can't say a pissing match because they both got a little for JJ. So whatever you call it for when they doing it, that's what they were doing. Anyways, next we get back to your boy Nick and Kanan, and basically Nick was like, he didn't have nothing to do with his man's famous Porter, what do you call him, Porter Rock. He didn't have nothing to do with Porter Rock being put down. That ain't his type of thing. His beef ain't with Kanan, is with Rock. And he was like, unless you guys are partners, then we most definitely gonna have a problem. And I ain't partners. We ain't partners. We ain't like that. Just get my word from her. He's like, then that's when Nick was like, so you gonna tell me that you didn't have nothing to do with putting my brother down? That was me. Nigga need to be checked, so I checked him, and I will do it again. Trying to act like he gangster. Boy, you 5'1", shut up. Anyways, he was basically, it's like they gave Nick some adrenaline. Like he loved to hear that. Like he was, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the same adrenaline he got right there was the same one that Kanan felt when he figured out that, Tariq was right for the picking. It's the same moment. But anyways, next, we get to your boy Garcia. He has interrupted the exchange between Juke and Aisha. And basically he was like, look, I'm gonna keep popping up like this unless you agree to help me. So what's going on with you, glad nigga? And pretty much Juke still didn't have much to tell him, but he just letting them know that he is there to stay. So you might as well cooperate. But anyways, next we get to your boy Nick and Biggie. Biggie was like, because Nick was talking to him about Kanan's situation, and I guess the plans that he had for him, and Akbar was like, you sure you want to do this for that little ass nigga? Like, I'm telling you, Kanan's smart. He ain't got nothing to do with this stuff. He told me he put down my brother and didn't flinch. So the same situation, I'm gonna tell y'all what this situation is. It's another parallel. This is the same parallel when Kanan was really happy about, Tariq holding it down and not snitching when he asked him to go deliver those guns to Ray Ray. Of course, this is before he knew Ray Ray were cops. And then he, passed the test, and he was telling Juke, see, I told you, he ready. And Juke was like, all right, he did well, but don't get, basically, why you holding this nigga? Why you all happy like you about to hold this nigga up like the Lion King? Don't get attached. And I feel like Akbar here is telling Nick the same thing, basically, because he's seeing how excited it seems like Nick is getting. That, how excited it seems like Nick is getting because he figures out that, Kanan is like almost like the son that he always wanted, possibly. I mean, I know he got Jerome, but he's very happy about that. But anyways, next we get to Marvin, Rock, and Stefano, and basically, you know, they're having a meeting about possibly having Stefano's guys, help deliver some of the product, you know, get as far as the distribution part side of it, because David is no longer on the table right now. So Stefano agreed to go ahead and do it, but he was also making, you know, little quick remarks and slights to Marvin, saying, you know, about him making decisions on things, just hitting at him, letting him know, look, I know what you did last summer, nigga. But anyways, and then he asked to talk with Rock alone. Next, we go ahead and get to same moment, basically, you know, it is Rock and Stefano, and now Stefano has been trying to pull in his finesse. So he was, you know, tried to pitch to her, to saying some, you know, the other day, Marvin stepped to me about taking your place. And of course, Rock was like, nah, you little glad line. Am I a glass nigga? Because you didn't know about our little exchange when he was doing side jobs for me. So sometimes when you're so high up, like you and I, you don't see what's below our feet. Something his little glass said. You know what I'm saying? Trying to pull in a good little finesse and stuff. I ain't gonna lie, he was very persuasive with some of the stuff he said. But will your girl Rock fold? I doubt it, because she told him, look at glad nigga, you loyal to your family, I'm loyal to mine. If any of your little glad people come out to Marvin, you're gonna have to go through me. So I'm gonna say this really quick about that situation. We might not see, I'm gonna say that we absolutely not going to see Stefano come out to Marvin with his own people. I'm gonna say that. I do have a further video explaining this though, because, you know, of course, he has to keep his hands clean. Anyways, next we get to, right after that moment, Rock is upset and she's telling Marvin, you effed this all up, glass nigga. And pretty much just like he didn't tell her that Stefano glad tried to step to him about taking her spot, she didn't tell him that Stefano tried to flip her and say that he came to Stefano about taking her spot. So, you know, basically this whole episode was about deception, a bunch of glad niggas deceiving and finessing niggas. Anyways, next we get to your boy Phil Russo, and of course Neek is paying a visit, and he lets him know, look, I know there was your little glad that took out the little glass, the little glad Asian dude, and he was like, that wasn't me, a glad nigga. You know, these maggots be doing crazy things these days. Ain't no telling what they got going on. So obviously he didn't say this, but, you know, I'm gonna make it in my own version of glad niggas. I knew that. But anyways, and pretty much, I don't know, it seemed like Phil wasn't too, you know, upset about it, but at the same time, of course, you know, he doesn't want any war between New York and him, because he was not going to back Unique if that was to transpire. But anyways, next we go ahead and get to Lou, and he's having a conversation with Itchrilla, and Itchrilla is like, look, you told me you was going to be down for me, a glad nigga, that you going to help me feed my family, and you more the same, just like everybody else. And Lou's like, man, my bad, a glass nigga. You know, one of my biggest regrets is to not finish what we had going on here. But look, this ain't the end of the glass nigga. Maybe that little glass nigga will keep you on the left. You know that the glass nigga ain't gonna mess with me after this. He only had me because he thought you was gonna be on. Look, Lou, I need to feed my daughter, man. So if you have anything, just reach out. I'm not scared. I'm not even afraid to be ignorant, man. And that's when Lou was like, done. So who knows? Do we have a new glass nigga emerging? Find out next episode on Dragon Ball Z, glad niggas. Anyway, next we get to this little glad nigga, and basically Marvin is talking to him about, like, I heard little Amber ain't been coming to school with glad nigga. He was like, yeah, she been calling out sick and stuff like that. And Marvin was like, so your little lad got an address on him? He was like, you know I can't do that, little lad nigga. But of course, Marvin gave him an incentive, and that was enough to make him go check for that address. But anyways, next we get to your boy Kanan, and of course he was making multiple calls to multiple hospitals. I think he said it was a total of 30. And none of them had Crystal there in their facility. And of course, they didn't have her because Crystal is somewhere laying in a ditch. But anyways, Juke, not happy about, what Kane is going through, lets him know, look, I might got something I can do to help. And of course, but she was telling him to, calm down. It might not turn out bad the way you think. And then that's when Kane was like, nothing ever works out for us, glass nigga. And he was right. But anyways, next we get to Marvin. He has now made it to the house of the Uglass foster parents. And he's like, look, I've been hearing that Amber's been sick, so I just wanted to come and check on her. And this Uglass and it was like, look, she's all right. She had a little cold. Get your little glass up out of here. And Marvin had to do his breathing. Because he was getting ready to turn up on his little daddy, but he was getting ready to walk away, but he heard a cry out from Amber saying Uncle Marvin. And that's when he got his cue to just force his way in to see what was going on. And of course, right after that, a dusty, crusty white racist came and grabbed him. She tried to grab him. Of course, he just slung her to the ground like she was nothing, and proceeded to break into the room where they had Amber locked up in. That's crazy work. That not only are you treating the child, not letting her go to school, but you got her locked up with locks. Like, that is crazy. But anyways, though, of course, this exchange happened, and then the glass dude tried to come up with a bat and hit him. So Marvin had to put him down. Then the wife was there, and she tried to run, but of course, you can't leave no loose ends. So he had to also put her down. But just like all of season 4, Marvin made another crucial mistake, I think, that may come back to potentially bite him, because Amber is still alive. And of course, you ain't gonna want to take out a little girl, very understandably, but come on, man. You gonna tell her to call the police and say it was a robbery and that some white dude with tattoos came in and did it. So the question is, how will Amber respond to this? Will she actually call the cops and tell her exactly what he said? Now, I'm gonna say this. I could see her possibly doing this, but the problem is the police is going to question her hard. And then this is just a 9-year-old, maybe 10-year-old girl. Come on, girl. They're going to press her hard and ask her multiple questions. And more than likely, you can't expect a 9 to 10-year-old girl to hold it down against the police like that. She might slip and say the wrong thing. She might just, so happen to mention that Marvin was there, even though, she's saying that the robbery happened from the white dude with tattoos. So don't be surprised if something like that happened. I can absolutely see it coming. Next, your girl Juke go ahead and reaches out to your boy Garcia, because she knew that, of course, with him being a cop, that he could be, very useful in finding Crystal. And of course he was. He lets her know that they found a Jane Doe that matches her description. I believe he said laid up in a apartment hallway or something he said. I can't remember. Either way, they found her. And he could tell by Juke's face that was absolutely Crystal. And he, of course, apologized, gave her his condolences. But he also let her know that she now owes him. So next, we get to your boy Lou, and now he's paying Rock a visit. And of course, throughout his therapy and all the things that has transpired this season, he finally has come to the conclusion that the streets is where he belongs and what he really likes. and he wants back in with her. But of course, Rock is skeptical because she was like, "We've been through this, ugly ass nigga. Your ugly ass was getting drunk on the bottle because you couldn't handle it. So if I'm gonna be trusting you to get back in, I can't be having your little ass having 1 foot in, one foot out, ugly ass nigga." And basically Lou was like, "I'm an ugly ass dragon slayer. What's an ugly ass nigga if he ain't got an ugly ass nigga to slay?" So pretty much she was like, "All right, little ass nigga, I got something that you little ass can slay. Scrap up." And of course, what the play was crazy. But anyways, next we get to your boy Kanan, and he is going to visit your boy Snap and your girl Pop, and of course he was coming to ask about Crystal because he knows that they have connection with the NYPD, so maybe they could possibly track her down. And of course the Captain duo said they don't know anything about her, but they decided to tell another lie and said, "But we were just about to reach out to you because we got word back from our friends at NYPD, and they found out who it was who was behind the death of Famous, and they told her it was his mother," which we all know is a lie. But of course, Kanan, being the gullible idiot that he is right now, is going to believe it. But anyways, next, lastly, but certainly not least, your boy Lou and your girl Rock paid a visit to Neek, and basically they was like, "We need to talk, little ass nigga." Now, what exactly is this meeting about? Not exactly sure, but of course, if I had to go ahead and take a swing at it, more than likely, they're going to be letting her know, "Look, you messing with my people, I'm going to mess with yours. And this is going to be war unless maybe something can be negotiated." I'm going to go ahead and leave it with that, because I will deep dive a little bit more on exactly what I think is going to be happening here on this particular scene. So pretty much that's all I got for you little ass niggas as far as this particular video. You know what I'm saying? Hope you glad niggas enjoyed it. Let me know if it's anything else that I may have missed, that y'all might just want to point out on yourself, or any other question that you might potentially have. But anyways, I definitely appreciate each and every last one of y'all that's been rocking with me for so long throughout this season. We are finally at the season finale, and I'm so excited about it. Make sure y'all been paying attention to my community, because tomorrow, May 13th, I will have a special guest going live with me that is part of the Raising Kanan season 4 cast. He was in episode 8, and he will of course be in this episode 10. I'll be going live with him tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so that's something you definitely don't want to miss. So make sure y'all tune in live. We'll be breaking down the season so far, what to expect for this explosive season finale that's coming. So make sure y'all are definitely tuned in. But of course, if you do miss it, you can always go back and review it. But yeah, like usual though, if you're cool with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share with your glad friends. But until the next video, I'm out.